Listen to the story brought to life with 11 Labs voice technology, The Rejected Rogue Queen. Written by Samantha Abbott.
Chapter 7. Aiden.
Oh, Aiden, darling, how are you? Is everything okay? Why did you call me and not your father? Mathis? Mathis! Aiden is on the phone. Mathis, check your cell. I'm sorry, dear. You know how much he hates these, but I'll make sure I get him.
Mom. No. Mom, I called to talk to you. I chuckle. I didn't even call Dad. Don't rip his head off.
What?
She says, just catching what I had said as she was still shouting at my poor father, who I could hear in the background grumping about how these little box things are a complete waste of money. I called to talk to you, I repeat.
Oh. Well, why didn't you say that when I answered? Wait, why? What's the matter?
Sitting on the edge of the bed, I shake my head. What makes you think something is wrong? Can't I just call to have a chat with my mother? I have to pull the phone away from my ear as her laughter echoes across the room.
Right. You called me just to see how I am? Dear, that would be so sweet of you, and I am doing great. But let's be honest, you didn't call me to just chat. So, what's wrong?
Nobody can say she doesn't know me. Not that I never call her, but she's always had this intuition about things which I found to be a nightmare when I was a teen. I couldn't get away with shit. But now that I am an adult and the alpha, I can only pray I have the same sense she does. Okay, Mom, you caught me, I say, not wanting to drag it out. I need to ask you some questions about the mate bond. The line goes silent for a few minutes, and I pull the phone away just to make sure she was still there. Mom?
Give me a minute,
She says, and I can hear her whisper to my dad before shutting a door, or at least I assume that is the noise.
Is she pregnant?
What? I ask. Janelle? No, she's not pregnant.
Oh, what's your question, dear?
She says, trying to cover what she was about to say. Normally it would make me upset, but to my surprise, it didn't even irk me. She's never cared for Janelle. It was no secret that she didn't like her. Though she's never been mean to her, she wasn't thrilled when she found out she was my mate. Mom, I sigh. I need you to give me some honest advice. Please, can you push your feelings for Janelle to the side? I wouldn't be calling you if it wasn't important.
I'm sorry, Aiden. Look, you know how I feel about your, mate. But I would never come between the mate bond. True, I don't like her. I feel like she is wrong for you, but we don't get to choose who the moon goddess decides is our mate. She always has a good reason. That being said, what is your question?
Thank you, I say, trying to figure out how to word the next part. The mate bond, how do you know? Or I guess it's rather, sometimes you get a second chance mate, correct?
Yes?
She says. I can almost see her brows furr.
Not always, but sometimes. Why?
Right. Okay, I continue. So, you could have a second chance mate and meet them, and you'd know they are your mate because you can feel the bond, right?
No, dear. You wouldn't feel anything towards your second chance mate unless something happens to your first, either by rejection or death. Is there something you are trying to tell me? Did something happen between you and Janelle?
My heart sinks. Damn it, I thought I was on to something. No. Nothing happened between us.
Oh, Aiden, please don't tell me you've slept with someone else. I don't like Janelle, but you cannot just cheat on your mate. Oh, goddess, I raised you so much better than this.
Mom, I didn't cheat on her. Nor would I.
Don't you raise your voice to me. And good, because that's something you'd find hard to come back from. But I don't understand. What's with these questions?
I'm not. I think Do you remember Vex? The line's silent for a few minutes before she speaks.
Vex? Vex Riverton? The girl you dated?
Yes, her. Do you remember her? I ask.
Well, yes. How could I forget that sweet girl? You know, I was so sure she was going to be your mate. I mean, all the signs pointed to it being her, or I'd have never encouraged you dating her.
She rambles on, which is exactly what I want. Maybe she will say something to jog my memory.
Why, I was so shocked that she didn't become your mate. You know I'm never wrong about mates. Every pack member that's been mated, at least while I was the Luna, had turned out to be true. I'd look at your father and say they will be mated and, boom, so they were. I think at some point it freaked your father out.
She continues on about my dad, and I try to steer the conversation back towards Vex. Yes, I remember. But why were you not right about us?
You know, that's always bothered me. I told your dad. They have dated for 3 years and it all pointed to her. Then it's as if overnight, poof, Janelle was your mate and that was it.
Is that unusual?
Well, it's not unheard of, but something about how it happened. I don't know. Your father said it was because of how much time I'd spent with Vex, so that's why I was having such a hard time with it, and, I mean, I guess it made some sense. She was always at our house. I used to joke with your father that we should just give her a room. The two of you couldn't be away from each other for a minute.
My brows furr. Was I really that attached to her?
Yes, that's part of the reason I was so sure that she was your mate. You used to say she smelled like vanilla and oranges.
Did I? I ask. How could I forget that? How could I forget any of this? We dated for 3 years.
Are you saying you don't remember any of this? I mean, it has been some years, but she was such an important part of your teen years.
Mom, did I banish her?
Yes. I have to say I was surprised. Even having found your mate, I'd have thought you at least would have kept some kind of relationship with Vex. You meant the world to her.
I feel like a knife is twisting in my gut as I shake my head. Even though I know she can't see me, but I'm not sure what else to do. How could I not remember the majority of this?
Honey, why are you asking me all these questions about Vex?
Because, well, I've recently run into her.
Really? I thought she had... Well, never mind. How is she? Is she doing well for herself? I had hoped she would join a pack close by, but I was never able to locate her after. Though at one time her brother had said she was safe.
Oh, she is doing well for herself, I say, looking around my room, depending on one's perspective.
What do you mean by that, dear? Wait, are you asking her to come back to the pack? Is that what all this is about? Is Janelle seriously still that jealous?
What do you mean, jealous? I ask. I'd never really seen her be jealous of anyone. She knows I'm her mate. I mean, when we first found out, she was a little overprotective, but that's normal for any new mate couple.
Never mind. Did you invite Vex back into the pack?
I don't think she would accept that. I half laugh. No, in fact, I'm sure she would turn it down.
Oh, I wouldn't be so quick to judge. She might want to, but she'd never just come out and say it. Not after you sent her away.
I can feel the disappointment in her tone, and I don't blame her. I'm a bit disappointed in myself. But still, Mom isn't right on this one. No, Mom, she won't.
How can you be so sure? I know you didn't part on good terms, but you should at least extend the invite. You might be surprised.
Mom, I growl, getting annoyed. She wouldn't come back to the pack if we paid her to.
That's an odd thing to say. If you don't want her to come back, you're the alpha, so that's your call. I just thought you might want her to. I mean, why else are we having this conversation about mate bonds and ex-girlfriends?
Because, I shout, growing frustrated. She's, I don't know.
Well, I don't know why you're shouting again, but I won't have it, Aiden. If you want to yell at someone for whatever is going on, I'll tell you right now, your mother is not the right choice.
I'm sorry, I sigh, pinching my nose. It's just, I don't know what's going on with my mate, Bond, and Vex.
What do you mean? Just be direct, Aiden, because I thought we discussed this already.
This isn't about Janelle being jealous or anything to do with the mate bond I have with her. What I am struggling with is that I ran into Vex and my wolf seems to think that she is our mate.
What?
I pull the phone away from my ear as my mother's shouting a million words, which I cannot make out, at least until she calms down.
Aiden, wait. Aiden, you are sure that is what you feel? It's your wolf?
Yes, I sigh. Now you understand?
Oh, goddess. Aiden, where are you right now?
I can feel her excitement through the phone, which I find odd. Away at an alpha meeting. Why?
Good. Okay. You need to stall.
Stall? What do you mean, stall? I ask, confused. Why would I do that when I'm trying to figure out why I feel a mate bond I shouldn't?
Just stall. Stay there and don't go back to the pack. At least not until I figure a few things out. Promise me.
Her tone's so serious, it reminds me of being a child.
Aiden, I mean it. Promise me you will stall at least for a few days so I can do some investigating.
Mom, I have responsibilities to the pack. I can't just…
Aiden, you will stall that meeting and give me a few days to get some information. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am, I say automatically.
Good. Now I will call you in a couple of days.
Before I can say anything else, she hangs up.